Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. We are back with another Caleb's Critique Corner, and this one is actually some footage from one of my Instagram followers that follows me and wants to submit some footage. If you like cats, you'll see plenty of my cats on my Instagram at Caleb Peng, and I guess you can submit footage through that as well if it's more convenient. And today we will be featuring some more Fossil Cup footage. We saw some really cool ones from Riblet yesterday, and we're going to have some more today as the cup is wrapping up. So today's footage is from HitmonJord. I think it's short for Jordan. But yeah, let's take a look at these battles and see how they played out. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. We're going to pause the footage once the battles start. 2300 though, elo, and it looks like it's going to be a Registeel, Pelipper, and Jellicent team. Honestly, one of the biggest issues with this team is what we see right here on the screen right now. It's going to be a Lantern. Lantern can beat Registeel in 1 and 2 shield scenarios, regardless if you're running Spark or Water Gun. And so you just need 1 shield and you're good. And obviously it beats Pelipper and Jellicent. However, one of these situations, even though you lose to all 3 Pokemon lose to it, it can't take out all 3 Pokemon, right? There's very few Pokemon that actually can do that. So let's see how Jordan plays out these matchups, and looks like we're going to get an attack drop, and that's going to be pretty solid. So in my opinion, I don't think this is the best shield. You win the 0 shield scenario, right? Obviously you want to take out the Lantern, but I think the biggest issue is this Lantern was already debuffed, and because it was already debuffed, you're getting much less value out of the shield, right? If you were planning on shielding in regardless and not playing out the 0 shield scenario, you should probably shield the first move. That being said, this is going to happen. And the other situation why this is a little not ideal is because if you shield right off before they shield, they're going to start realizing that their Lantern has more value, which means they'll counter shield. And you don't really want them to shield because the only shielding situation you win is in that 0 shield scenario. So now, if they shield, they win this matchup and still keep their Lantern around, which is the main thing you want to get off. So if you can force them to just give up the Lantern 0 shields, that's fine. And as you can see, they are going to shield. And then forcing another shield from Jordan. Yeah, okay. Well, catching a move on Melmetal is definitely something. But they end up shielding, so not too bad. This Melmetal is kind of tough, but a great swap. I'm not actually sure what happened to the footage here. Alright, let's just get back to this part of the footage. I think the footage might be going again. And looks like swapping to Jellicent, actually catching a superpower, so a huge catch. You're getting a ton of value there. Most Melmetal are not running Thunderbolt, so you should be in a pretty good spot. And yeah, and debuff Rock Slide is going to come in handy. I personally would probably throw a Surf. You want to leave with a Shadow Ball so you have something to throw at the Lantern. Ends up being a Frothorn, so not too bad as well. But again, shields down. Pelipper is really going to struggle against both backline Pokemon. I think you have to come in with Registeel and hope that you live a move from the Lantern. Yeah, this is kind of dicey. Okay, Pelipper is going to come in, but I think you just get hit by a Thunder. Yeah. They didn't have the Thunder yet. Okay, we do get to the Focus Blast while we max out on energy. The question is, can you get to move before the Lantern gets to Surf? I don't think so. Yeah, I think this Lantern is going to get to Surf. So, again, I would probably, in that scenario, play out the 0 shield, right? They really didn't want to see your Registeel in their backline, but at the same time, you really don't want to see the Lantern against your backline. So, I would play out the 0 shield and try to finish it off with that Jellicent as a way to kind of close it out. But alright, let's take a look at how the rest of these battles go. Swapping straight away to Jellicent. I like it. Jellicent's definitely a safe swap than Pelipper. The team composition actually makes a lot of sense. You want to draw out the Lantern if they have one, and then you bring out the Registeel to take it out and try to sweep with the Pelipper. The problem is, and this is one of my biggest gripes with Fossil Cup, not anything to do with anyone's personal gameplay, is that it's kind of RPS. Most likely, especially we talked about this yesterday, right? Escavalier lead, Lantern usually in the back. Lantern lead, usually Escavalier in the back. Escavalier lead typically has 2 things that beat Pelipper, right? One, the hardest checks to Escavalier in this meta. I like this play though. Don't shield, right? Farm as much as you can. The energy is still meaningful against Escavalier. Obviously, Registeel, you're gonna have to try to uncharge. It's kind of hard in that situation given how low health it is. Okay, so in this situation, yes, Skarmory is a Pelipper counter, but not as strong as that Jellicent is. So you have some play, right? Especially while being ahead on energy. You have to shield obviously everything here. Good optimized timings though from Jordan. You really don't want to let any air slashes go through, right? That's definitely gonna make your life a little bit tougher. Looks like the opponent is optimizing pretty well too. Maybe he had to go for a catch. Okay, trying to go for a catch. Unfortunately, not able to. I personally throw the Weather Ball first before going for the catch. If you grab their last shield, then this Focus Blast is guaranteed to land, right? Unfortunately, because of this, you're forced to not only try to farm up a little extra energy, but get hit by a Drill Run, which KOs you, right? So yeah, you do get the Weather Ball off. Oh, actually? Oh, no, yeah, no, you still need to throw two. Yeah, exactly. So you want to land that Focus Blast shield down, right? So if you land that Weather Ball on that Skarmory, you take it out. Now you have Pelipper versus Escavalier, not too bad. Or you force their last shield, throw a Zap Cannon and Focus Blast on the Escavalier. You have a little bit more play. Obviously, the team composition was not as good, but that is to be expected with Escavalier leads. All right, they go for Mega Horn. I think the main thing is you go overfarm a little bit before throwing the Hurricane. I don't think the Hurricane's a bad play. But I think we saw in the footage with Ryblet yesterday, you just overfarm and go straight for Weather Ball. Yeah, losing this matchup is not ideal, right? Because now they completely want switch. Yeah, a little bit tougher. I mean, Registeel up 2 shields is still something, right? Registeel can usually beat a lot of things. I think I'd probably just save the shield. They're going Mega Horn for whatever reason too. I don't know why they're not going Drill Run. All right, so this is actually pretty good. You want to whittle this down. Again, sorry, I don't know what's going on with this footage. We're back about where we were left off. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure what's happening here. I'm not really sure. I'm not saying it's even Jordan's fault. It might just be because I'm viewing this through Instagram instead of the typical situation. All right, but shields down. You're in a pretty good spot with Registeel. You grab their Lucario and able to finish off. Yeah. So anyway, I think overall you want to try to maintain alignment if you can. With the Pelipper, right? Just go straight Weather Ball, farm up, over farm, right? Especially because they threw Mega Horn, it's going to take them way longer. Not way longer, but longer to get to that Drill Run, right? Because Mega Horn is more energy than that first Drill Run. And you could really overfarm there. Yeah, something I recommend for anyone that's curious how that matchup plays. Check out yesterday's video from Ryblet. He did a great job of handling Escavalier safe swaps with his Pelipper. Alright, so again, not shielding. The opponent shields right off the bat. Yeah, like, again, I would just shield the first one if you're going to shield anything. I actually don't even remember if we got a debuff on the first move or not. Maybe not. So it wouldn't make too big a difference. But again, if you're going to shield, you always want to shield the first one, right? Of course, the opponent shields. Oh, wow, they went Thunder. Wild. Yeah, and again, like I said, Lantern is going to win the 1 in the 2 shield scenario. Like, this is okay if the opponent lets it go. But if they shield, Jordan's in a lot of trouble, right? Because how do you finish this thing off? Yeah, exactly. They're going to throw. Wow, really great time from the opponent. Throw right before the move's thrown. And now you have to come into a Lantern with energy. Yes, they're debuffed at least, so you have that going for you. But they might have a Escavalier in the back, right? And you really want to take out that Escavalier with the Jellicent. Luckily, the Pelipper's not too bad. This is one of those teams where it's kind of overload strategy, which I talked about in one of my videos, where you kind of overwhelm your opponents with things you're weak to and just overwhelm their back end, right? Because they're building more balance team. This is really uncomfortable. I mean, I think they might get to Hurricane before the Weather Ball's reached. Okay, no. Okay, really nice. It might have been CMP actually. Nice. Okay. Well, this is still a little tough, right? Skarmory is going to be pretty good into this Pelipper. 1 Brave Bird should do it, and the Weather Ball's just not enough. But yeah, so again, I mean, Lantern in general is tough for this team. I think the play is go for the 0 shield scenario, force them to shield, right? If they shield, then you at least have a shield advantage for your backline matchups, right? It's still not easy, but it's still something. yeah, it's an interesting line. I mean, obviously you could definitely get some wins, but Lantern is definitely prevalent in this meta. All right, definitely a core breaker. Berserker has play into everything. A lot of play into that Jellicent, but a decent amount of play into this Red Seal. However, they do have the shield. This is actually really nice that the opponent's throwing the foul play, so expending some of this energy. Yeah, I mean, I guess now they just go straight Surf, but honestly, that's a good thing for Jordan in this situation. I wouldn't shield this because you're already down a shield, and yeah, and in all likelihood they're going to hit you with another Surf. So, oh no, it's the opponent that's down a shield. Oh, that's even better. Oh yeah, that's huge, right? Yeah, we do get baited with a Surf, which is kind of a weird bait because the opponent doesn't get to another move anyway. But I don't know, maybe they're short. Yeah, this is a weird one. Shielding foul play is okay. Going for the hard hitting Shadow Ball, but I think the opponent might shield. Yeah, because if you think about it here, why would they shield? Well, you have a Jellicent, fantastic matchup for Berserker. You have a Regiseal, also a pretty solid matchup because you're just doing lock-ons. They can throw close combats, bait you with foul play, either way. So that Berserker has a lot of value for the opponent. Typically speaking, they're going to shield in that situation, right? Because they've seen all three Pokemon at this point. Your Berserker, your Pelipper's out, and your Jellicent's here. Yeah, and of course your shields are down too, so the close combat is really going to add up if you get to it. Oh man! All right, let's see if they. It doesn't look like they get to a close combat though, so that might be good. This is a Power Punch, close combat, Power Punch. Okay, definitely has some play. Yeah, take this out. Maybe lock on down the Berserker. Let's see how much energy the Berserker has. And yeah, okay, so able to come away with a win. So pretty good. I think, obviously Shadow Ball is enough to KO, whereas Surf is not. But I think that's one of those situations where you just kind of make a read on your opponent. Claim the rewards. 2-3. Not too bad. Again, I think this is kind of a tough team to play with how much Lantern there are. So that could be a part of the issue. But let's see how the rest of these battles play out. All right, so not a great lead, but you just swap over to Jellicent. I like it. Ooh, okay. This looks like it's probably some type of double Razor Leaf Grass Hole situation. However, you could potentially grab a Shields. Yes, that's huge, right? You really want to try to grab their Shields in this situation. Maybe farm down the Ludicolo with the Regiseal. You really want to grab a shield off of that Magcargo, right? So they're going to throw the Energy Ball. Not a big deal. Yeah, so they don't have Leaf Storm. Okay, yeah, big lock on down. I like it. Just throw the Focus Blast to force the shield. Oh, okay. They come in as Cavalier. That's fine. Focus Blast still going to do a good chunk of damage. Yeah, they're just completely core broken from this Pelipper, which is fantastic. And Fire Move Pelipper, that's something you do. Even if it's Rock Throw, you get to 2 Weather Balls in time. Yeah, I think the opponent just concedes right here. Alright, so that's pretty good. One of those good core breaking situations. Getting to the double Shadow Ball and forcing the shield was huge. Dude, I don't get when people do this. When they close out their app, like, are you really that mad? Be worried about your 1401 Magcargo, right? It's a waste of time for everyone, right? The players you're playing against, but it also takes more time, right? Alright. Okay, Frostthorn. Fantastic lead. It really has no play here. Maybe just watch out for a potential catch. They might be super weak to Registeal for whatever reason, so they're going straight Thunder. But this is a really tough matchup for the opponent to win, so you should be in a good spot either way. Sorry, my cat is digging at the bed for whatever reason. All right, okay, huge farm down. I like this swap to Jellicent. Really great swap. Pelipper's the hard check, but also, again, Jellicent's a good safe swap, so you typically want to safe swap the Jellicent either way. Good no shield, too. I like this Surf. Yeah, they don't shield it, but that's fine, because I don't think you really feasibly hex down a non-Shadow Swamper from that range, even if you land a Shadow Ball. So you kind of have to throw 2 moves anyway. So I like that play. Yeah, let it go. Even if it's Earthquake, right? Wait out your timer, right? You want to be able to swap out. They clearly are weak to Regiseal on the back, and that's why. Oh, okay. Nice catch. I don't think it's super necessary, right? Yeah, and like then you're forced to shield, right? I think you just go straight away to Zapkin. This puts you in a little tougher position. I think it's very hard for the opponent to come back because Pelipper just is a hard wall to that Swamper unless they are for some reason running Sludge Wave. But yeah, going for the Shadow Ball or Focus Blast. I like this play. There's no reason to go all the way to that Zap Cannon. If they shield, you might get to another move. But yeah, at this point, you have plenty of energy for this Swampert. and you could just go back to back weather ball to take it out. Yeah, so really solid. Good understanding of how to pivot out in that situation. They come in Swampert, you don't stay in, right? You have 2 better checks for Swampert. You just swap out, preserve that Registeel, save that energy you farmed against a Ferrothorn, and use it for later. Great execution on that pivot. Okay, let's see. I mean, honestly, if the sets don't have a lot of Lantern, I think it's pretty good. Let's see how the rest play out. All right, coming out. Oh, no Lantern. Okay. Well, in the first few times we see in Scavenger League with no Lantern in the back, this is actually really good for Jordan because it's not the best matchup. You can potentially no shield the Hurricane, ends up shielding it, which is fine too, because you could win this situation if you shield the Hurricane. If you shield the Weather Ball, it's a little dicier if they bait you and then land the Hurricane after. Actually, ooh, I personally would probably just shield this. Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe shield this one. You have the Shadow Ball. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, sorry, it's hard for me to keep track of energy, so maybe Jordan already knew that they weren't at Hurricane energy. But yeah, this is pretty good. Just farm all the way down. You're in a very commanding position. Yeah, getting the farm down is huge here. And then farming up a little extra, I think kind of maybe got a little greedy and went for way too much. This is actually kind of a problem. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's kind of annoying. You can't lock on this thing down. I probably would just shield that Pelipper and just go for shields down Registeel play, right? I think there's not too much that beats Registeel. Plus, you still have Pelipper with some energy. You still have a Jellicent for sack swap. Yeah, like this is unfortunate because you still have to throw a lot of your energy to take this out. Yes, you have a shield advantage, but ooh, this is a little scary. Oh yeah, it doesn't even make the move. At that point, just go for the Focus Blast, right? Because here's the thing. If you one, the focus here's the biggest reason. Focus Blast will do just as much damage as Zap Cannon in that neutral situation, I believe. And even if it does a little less, it's a Shadow Mawile, right? You just land one and you're good to go. And also you get to a Surf, right? I think overall the biggest thing is I would probably just shield your Pelipper if you overfarm, right? Obviously, ideally you don't overfarm there and have to shield. But if you do, just shield it. You have a lot of value, right, on that Pelipper. Yeah, unfortunately because of that, sequence events afterward is what I think led to the loss there. Again, I would overfarm, right, and then throw the Weather Ball. You get a lot more value in that situation. Yeah, you still KO them, but at least you come out with more energy, right? And you can throw something at this Crawdon. These Crab Hammers actually hit pretty hard. So let's see. Oh, they go Night Slash. Okay, they don't have Crab Hammer. This is kind of awkward a little bit. I mean, it's pretty good for the most part, unless they hit you with the Shadow Ball. But they might bait you. Okay, they go straight Shadow Ball. That's not too bad. Throw the Surf. The Crawdon is what I'm mainly concerned about if they could get off too many Crab Hammers. Of course, if they keep shielding this, it's going to be a different story. Okay, they get to one more move. I would personally let this go. Yeah, great call. Well, one, this ends up being Power Punch. But the other reason being, it's so low, you don't have to worry about it. You just finish it off with Registeel and finish this off. Yeah, good to no shield Night Slash. You do live it. And yeah, good to just throw. Well, you can't optimize. It's 3 turns or 3 turns, so you're fine either way. And maybe take it out there. Yeah, Crawdon, very interesting Pokemon in this meta. It does wall off Jellicent, but you can see the Surf and the Hexhammer still adds up because it's just so frail. All right, Registeel into Wall Ring, fantastic lead. That's going to be definitely a good one. Jellicent's not too bad into it. Pelipper's not great. Again, I would probably build up to at least a Zap Cannon just to get debuff them. I guess that's not a bad play if you plan on swapping in the Jellicent anyway, because they're probably going to swap out with their energy. Or if they throw all their energy of Earthquake, that's not too bad either. I wouldn't throw this Surf though. I mean, yeah, you might get a shield, but if you don't get a shield, this does like literally no damage. I'll probably still aim to go for the Shadow Ball, but let's see how they play out. Yeah, you can see like it does no damage, right? If you go for the Shadow Ball, you force them to potentially throw a little sooner, but I don't know why they're throwing Octazooka, so they're just giving up switch advantage for whatever reason. They do have the Icicle Spear. They have some residual energy, but you have a shield advantage, so you're in a pretty good spot. I think you come in Registeel. So this is actually a really good situation for Jordan because they won switch advantage and came back and still gave up switch advantage, right? So like it's like what was the point, right? Like yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is looking very good because Pelipper already beats Galarian Stunfisk on even shields, but because you have a shield advantage, even better. Yeah, in this situation, I would go for that CMP, right? Just go for the CMP against the Galarian Stunfisk. Force, because you already have the energy, force them to shield to get this Rock Slide off. Rock Slide is the most meaningful amount of damage. If you force them to shield, then you clear the way for your Pelipper. You can still shield their Rock Slide, but you completely clear the Pelipper for Hurricane on this Walrein. Now the difficult part is you have to land the Hurricane. They shield. They farm a lot of energy, and they can... Okay, well, they don't, right? So maybe they thought you're baiting. But if they shield that, it becomes a lot harder to take out that Walrein, right? But yeah, overall, still decent set there, ending on a 4-1. It's definitely an interesting team, especially one being so weak to Lantern, but seems like it has a decent amount of play, especially if you're able to avoid Lantern in a lot of matchups. Me personally, I would probably recommend some team adjustment to a degree, maybe run and a Escavalier in the lead. Even Berserker's not too bad, right, as your Steel type. The main thing is just being that weak to Lantern in a meta where Lantern is very common can make life a little bit difficult, right? Like I said, sometimes gameplays can be tightened up from a lot of trainers, but if you're using a hard-to-use team in general, it's hard to win even if you play perfectly, right? And I think this is teetering around that realm. That being said, a few things I saw that maybe Jordan could focus on is, first and foremost, I think is... I think the optimization, charge move timing is very, very good, right? I saw good optimization throughout. I think one thing would be probably trying to keep better track of your opponent's energy. A few times where Jordan over farms or maybe doesn't throw a move on CMP to force your opponent to spend their shield, rather than forcing yourself to shield in a positive matchup for you. So going down shields, right, in a situation where you probably don't need to. Knowing these energy counts can definitely help with some of these micro strategies like that Pelipper into a Scavalier matchup where you don't have to go for a Hurricane. You just over farm a bunch and then throw the Weather Ball so you come away with a bunch of energy. Shout out again to Jordan for sending in the footage. It was definitely very fun to see some of these battles. And if you would like to also be featured on Caleb's Critique Corner, feel free to shoot me a DM at Twitter at Caleb Peng. I'm pretty much booked for the rest of this Great League and Fossil Cup meta, but if you're looking forward to submitting some footage for Ultra League or whatever the other cup is, I forgot about it in a previous video. I still forgot about it. But whatever the next meta rotation is for the upcoming week or two, feel free to send me footage for that. Once those metas go live, I'd be happy to do some critiques for that. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time.